Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, lalo na sa mga tagapakinig at sa mga student nurses at sa mga kasamahan ko na nurses at sa mga clinical instructors na katulad ko po. Ang pag-uusapan natin sa ngayon ay ang cerebrovascular accident, hypertension, Parkinson's disease, cardiovascular insufficiency. Ito ay medical diagnosis sa iisang pasyente lamang po. Nangangailangan po itong intindihin kung paano nagkaroon ng ganitong medical diagnosis ang isang pasyente. Kinakailangan ding intindihin kung paano nangyayari at kung alin sa apat ang pinakaunang nangyari. Pinakamainam na ipresenta po ito sa isang nursing pathophysiology diagram na gamit ang 7-in-1 technique. Ang lahat ng factors o kadahilanan ay kinakailangan itong iklasipika kung ito ba ay predisposing factors or precipitating factors. Para mas lalong maiintindihan, panoorin nyo lamang po ang video ko na Risk Factors for NPD. Ang apat na kadahilanan ay ang mga predisposing factors at ito ang katabaan, paninigarilyo, katamaran sa paggagalaw at stress. Ang dalawang kadahilanan ay ang precipitating factors at ito ay ang kasarian at edad at ang alta presyon. Ang katabaan ay hindi mapapasinungalingan sa pagkakaroon ng sobra-sobrang taba. Kaya nagkakaroon ng pagtatambay ng taba sa ugat ng puso at ugat ng yutak. Ang pinakamaselan na pinagtatambayan ng taba ay ang artery na ugat. Ang artery ay ang dinadaluyan ng dugo na may hangin o tinatawag na oxygenated blood na napaka-importante sa lahat ng parte ng ating katawan. Ang sigarilyo, bawat hit-hit ng sigarilyo ay nagkakaroon ng chemical na carbon monoxide na siyang dahilan sa pagkakababa ng hangin sa dugo, kaya nagiging kulang ang oxygenated blood na nakakaabot sa iba't ibang parte ng katawan tulad ng yutak na magiging brain ischemia o ang parte ng yutak ay mamamatay sa kakulangan o di kaya'y walang oxygenated blood. Ang nicotine naman ay nagpapabilis ng tibok ng puso na parabagang in love, kaya mataas ang blood pressure. Ang nicotine ay nagpapababa ng good cholesterol, patay. Kaya may tsansa na ang bad cholesterol na ang makakalamang, kaya malaki na rin ang tsansa sa pagkakaroon ng baradong ugat sa puso at yutak. Ang katamarang kumilos-kilos, napakalaking tsansa na ang bad cholesterol o ang taba ay talagang tatambay sa ugat ng yutak at puso na magiging tigasin o plaque formation. Kaya lumiliit ang daluyan at nagiging kulang ang oxygenated blood. Ang stress, kada ma-stress ang pasyente ay lumalabas naman si epinephrine at sumasama sa daloy ng dugo at pag nakaabot sa ugat ng puso at yutak, ito'y nagkakaroon ng constriction or vasoconstriction o kumikipot ang artery. Ang mga lalaki naman sa kanilang edad na 20 hanggang 50 ay tumataas ang lebelo ng testosterone na may epekto sa pagtaas ng blood pressure, pagbababa ng lebelo ng good cholesterol, na hindi naaapektuhan ang bad cholesterol. Unfair! Kung ipagsasama natin ang lahat ng epekto, ito ay magkakaresulta sa napakabaradong ugat ng puso at ng yutak na siya namang pinakadahilan sa pagkakaroon ng mataas na presyon. Ang mataas na presyon o blood pressure ay ang pagkakaroon ng pagkakabanat ng artery na ugat sa puso at yutak. Sa pagkakabanat, ito ay nagkakaroon ng pagkakawala ng pagkalastiko o elasticity at ang pagkakaroon ng buslo or arterial pouch. Ang pagkakawala ng pagkalastiko at ang pagkakaroon ng arterial pouch ay pumuputok sa anumang panahon o kadahilanan. Pero sa ngayon, ang pasyente ay asymptomatic o walang nararamdaman sa mga pangyayari kaya hindi na aagapan ng maaga ang pagkakalala ng kondisyon sa habang panahon. Magugulat na lamang sa pagkakaroon ng cerebrovascular accident o stroke na karamihang naaapektuhan ang midbrain at ang stroke ay nagkakaroon ng pamamaga sa utak lalo na sa midbrain. Ang pamamaga or inflammation na nangyayari ay nakakaapekto sa tatlong parte ng midbrain. First part of midbrain is colliculi, affected preliminary processing of visual and auditory signals. The clinical manifestations are blurring of vision, nearsightedness, and other clinical manifestation. The second is tegmentum, affected coordination movement, inability to suppress pain, and inability of keeping alert. The clinical manifestations are long hour sleep, difficulty in moving, need assistance when walking, and even in performing activity daily living. Cerebral peduncles, affected transporting of signals going to cerebral cortex, so there is uncoordination of movements. The signs and symptoms are stumbles, shuffling gait, drooling of saliva, and other clinical manifestations. Affected substantia nigra, as well as dopamine production or death of dopaminergic neurons affecting movement coordination and even the emotion or pleasure aspect. It allows the patients to experience tremors, shuffling gait, muscle rigidity, and other clinical manifestations. Because of these all clinical manifestations, it can lead for consultation. Then the doctor needs to have a diagnostic test in order to appropriately prevail of what is the cause of these clinical manifestations. The diagnostic tests that are the imaging and laboratory tests like the CT scan, the CBC, and other diagnostic tests. It needs to describe or define each diagnostic test, which includes the indication and even the nursing consideration. What would be the result then? It prevails that the patient is having Parkinson's disease secondary to cerebrovascular accident or stroke. Cerebrovascular accident stroke is the reason for the development of Parkinson's disease. And then, what is the reason for the development of cerebrovascular accident or stroke? It was the hypertension. If you can remember, hypertension was presented under precipitating factors because precipitating factor could mean that there is a direct effect to the organ involved, such as the case like this. So therefore, hypertension for a long period of time directly causes vasoconstriction to the artery of the midbrain or to the brain of the patient. For a long years of vasoconstriction, long years of narrowing of the artery located in the midbrain. Adding to that are the predisposing factors. Therefore, there is a higher risk of developing of this kind of case or disease. Okay, what's next? Furthermore, Parkinson's disease had development of Lewy bodies resulted to impaired autonomic nervous system, impaired sending of signals to baroreceptors of the heart and artery. This is resulted to absence of compensatory mechanisms which allows the patients to have neurogenic orthostatic hypotension, affected ejection of blood coming from the heart. Changes in electrical heart activity. There is a prolonged interval of PR, prolonged QT interval, increased heart rate, affected ejection of blood coming from the heart. Now, because of this clinical manifestation, there is the continuity of the diagnostic test. The diagnostic test, imaging test, and the CBC, such as the ECG to the echo, troponin I, CPK-MB, and other diagnostic tests appropriately to be done to the patient. And these diagnostic tests or this set of diagnostic tests is to exactly know the real condition of the heart of the patient. Now, what is the result of these diagnostic tests? Here we go. Cardiovascular insufficiency, that the cause was the Parkinson's disease. Okay, hypertension came first until such time that cerebrovascular accident or stroke silently develop, and then that can lead to the Parkinson's disease. And because of Parkinson's disease, it involves the autonomic nervous system, especially the dopaminergic neurons or the substantia nigra was affected. Then that is the main reason for developing cardiovascular insufficiency. Let us talk about the if treated and if not treated. I have the management divided into three: the surgical management and the medical management. The content of medical management and surgical management needs to describe or define, then elaborate the indication, and elaborating also the nursing consideration. Referring to nursing management, aside from the presentation of nursing diagnosis, the clinical instructors and even the student nurses can go back to the clinical manifestations, and in every clinical manifestations, allow the students to identify independent nursing intervention, dependent nursing intervention, and even the collaborative nursing intervention. If not treated, more complications development, respiratory arrest, and the cardiac arrest. We are about to end with the seventh technique or the prognosis. Here we go. Fair prognosis, rest in peace. Hanggang dito na lamang po